this week's GALA champion, Xavier Maza, who is Client Services Manager at iDisc Information Technology. Welcome, Javier. We finally meet. Sure. Let's start by telling us what's in your job title. What is it exactly that you do as Client Services Manager?
Yeah, I picked this some time ago. The idea was that I was going to be facing customers, different partners in our company. We decided to split the different responsibilities, and I was going to take care of talking to customers. So actually client services, it means talking to customers and trying to understand what they need, trying to deliver, connect with production and the different teams at iDisc, and also somehow try to foresee their future needs, where the industry is going, and where our company can provide an added value of services, taking into account our skills and things like that, to better provide our customers. So it's actually listening to customers. Okay,
sounds good. How did you start out in localization?
Well, that was a really long time ago. I studied translation at the university, and at that time there weren't computers. I just recall that one of my professors said, maybe you as a translator, you might need a computer one day. And then I thought, well, that sounds crazy. But somehow I immediately went and bought a computer myself. I asked for some money, a loan, and I bought it. And then I started doing that was localization, actually translation of software files for a vendor that was working for IBM at that time, 30 years ago. And that's how it all started. Then I got in contact with a company who wanted to send some people to the States to start doing product testing, language verification testing, of something that at that time were internet browsers. And we were working for OS2, IBM OS2, a very interesting multitasking operating system. Long time disappeared. And that's how it all started. And then I came back and started taking other responsibilities. That was 30 years ago.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. But and you were talking about software localization. So what are the challenges nowadays compared to 30 years ago?
Speed is crazy, and the expectations that we are supposed to do much more for much less, and this dehumanization. I recall that when I started, the translator was an important person, a person with knowledge, and nowadays, just the translator, just it's like a little piece there in the whole supply chain, and it's becoming more and more relevant. And because of the rise of AI and such kind of technologies, this will become somehow totally relevant in the sense that we understood it before. I'm sure there are places for language people, but we will have to relocate and just to start doing other new things.
Okay. Your company joined GALA. Why did you make that decision?
That's a funny thing. We were, at that time, I recall that we were working in a place that we didn't have too many windows, and we were looking for a window to the world. We were working in a garage, so we didn't have any windows, just a front door. That again was a long time ago, and we were desperately looking for windows in that sense. We're also moving from OS2 into Microsoft Windows, and we wanted to see what was going on around in the world. We had, as a small company, we had a limited vision on who our customers could be and what was going on, what kind of technologies we needed, what kind of contacts we needed. So actually, when we got in touch with GALA, that was a great experience. That was the window that we were looking for, because it allowed us to understand better what our customers needed. Of course, we met lots of customers, lots of C-level people that had a lot of interesting ideas. So that's when we started to expand and get to know what we were supposed to be doing.
Great. So professional accomplishments you're most proud of?
I always like to think that my accomplishments are when I managed to keep a customer for a long time, and they're still there. We have a few of those customers that we've been for us Today, I was just calculating something with one of them, and I realized that it's been 28 years since 1994 with us. And they are one of our biggest customers, and we're very happy and proud of them. So having a customer stay with us for such a long time, it feels like rewarding and understanding like a personal accomplishment.
Definitely. For the people who are entering the localization industry right now, what career building advice would you give them?
Yeah, I know. I have a very close person to me, a very young friend of my son, who's also starting as a translator. And I've been talking to her and telling, look, really, why do you want to do this? Because it seems that they are going the old-fashioned translation way. That to me, it's over. That's not the way to go. But there are many, many more specializations. Actually, that's the point, being very specialized probably, and trying to find your niche. There are many areas in the localization industry, in the language service industry, that can get connected, and they are not the traditional ones. We're trying to explore all these, what we call expanded services, which are additional services that have some kind of connection because we have the skills and the expertise, and that we can bring value there. And that probably means that translating words the old-fashioned way, flip, 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 that is over. But there are many other things where you can bring your knowledge and your expertise that as a human being, as a language-oriented person, you can bring and make a real difference there for companies. So that could be, I mean, from thinking transcription, subtitling, voiceover, project management, all the quality assurance things. I mean, it's nice that computers do things, but not, someone has to just validate those. So that's where the expertise. So it means specialization in those specific areas.
Great. Since we're heading towards in-person conferences again, finally, what's your best networking tip or strategy for those who are going to join after such a long time?
Yeah, it's just a general advice in life when you're talking to people. It's usually shut up and listen. I like that because I mean, when you approach somebody, I mean, if you shut up and you listen for a while, you can discover many interesting things that will help you relate or just engage with that person. Because networking is actually all about engaging and trying to learn about people. So it's not just trying to present yourself just immediately straightforward there, but just trying to listen and to understand, because you will see what the needs of people are, and then you can try to solve that, and really it's rewarding in a way. So that's what I would usually advise people when approaching networking.
That's good. If you were not working in localization, and if money were not a problem or an issue of any kind, what would you do? What career would you choose? Yeah,
this is indeed a tough industry. I think probably everybody thinks that their industry or the industry they are in are the toughest, but I think we are in a very complex, competitive industry. And many times I would be lying if I didn't think, oh, I should have been doing something else or doing some other job. I like traveling, but I've also done my share of traveling because of this industry and because of all these events and the GALA events. So that was very rewarding to me. But I like traveling because it's a way to talking to people and learning and listening to different cultures. And there's a job that I think that's probably one of the best jobs in the world, which is the guy who does movie locations for movies. So the guy who has to travel somewhere and decide where they're going to make a movie. I like movies and I like cinema a lot. So being able to do that and choose the right spots, and that's probably a good job.
Okay, sounds good. What does life beyond localization look like?
Beyond localization, you mean life in general, or?
What do you do in your free time? Or?
Oh, that, well, hobbies and things like that. You know, my hobbies tend to be related to going out as well. Usually riding a motorbike, which is something that I like and I've been doing ever since. my other hobby, which is related to the sea and to scuba diving. I started scuba diving more than 10 years ago, and that's been very, very rewarding. It's something that we had to stop due to the pandemic, and that was painful. But I like going to the sea, going underwater, being in silence, just floating, relaxing a lot. That's very rewarding. It also allows me to travel, and there are seas everywhere in the world. So wherever you travel, you probably can find a spot with water that you can scuba dive. And the other thing that I also like is teaching scuba diving. I always thought that it was very rewarding, opening your passion for the sea or for a special hobby to some other people. Usually they are young people who and they find the scuba diving something like dangerous or challenging, which it is. But when it's well done and it's properly done, following all these security procedures, it's very, very safe. And it's very rewarding to see the faces of people emerging from the water and just totally excited because they saw some kind of fish underwater. So that's something that I like as a hobby. And I could also probably think about having as a secondary job if I wasn't.
Oh, that's a good one. I know for a fact that there are going to be scuba divers watching the interview. So what is, you think, the best scuba diving location based on your experience and travels?
It's always the place you've never been to.
Of course.
Yeah, there are many, many different places. I've been going to the Maldives, the Seychelles, Bali, and of course the Red Sea. Cousteau said that was the aquarium of the world. It's always very nice, but it's always also, I mean, again, the place that you've never been to, it's probably it could be the nicest place to go.
Okay, Xavier Maza, thank you so much.
Thank you, and to you for this opportunity.